Mikey! Geek! Don't touch it! It's pure evil!
And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, always joined by Mikey the Freak.
What's up, people?
And Steve.
Yeah!
Doing like jazz handy type things on YouTube.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
If you haven't figured it out by that intro, we are reviewing the movie Time Bandits. Not the new series coming out on Prime, or not Prime, but Apple TV, but the old 80s movie version.
Is there a new one coming out?
Yes.
Already came out and has already been canceled.
Yeah, it was like 2022, wasn't it?
Because not enough people watched it.
No shit.
Could be saying the same about this one, but okay, let's check out that trailer.
Yes, let's. You're a great bastard.
Here we go.
Evil.
Remember my voice.
So this is a long trailer, actually.
All kinds of
probably go through the whole
trailers.
fucking movie.
One day they'll put me in a film, a proper full-length job. Until then, I'm just stuck with this sort of stuff. Go and see this. Don't miss that. The most terrifying thing you ever saw is coming to babysit for you tonight.
All right, cut it there. Look, just read what's on the script, will you?
What?
The script. Other way up.
Ready?
Yes, yes.
You flock to see brief encounters for the special...
Close.
Close encounters.
Close Encounters, the film.
Oh, I never saw it.
Well, forget that film. We're on about our film. Time Bandits. Time Bandits, the one you are supposed to be promoting. Remember?
Such a British show.
Yeah.
You flock to see Close Encounters for the special effects. You went to Superman to see a man fly. You went to Star Wars for the droids. You went...
Now what?
What's page 2, man?
It's under page 1. See? Oh, dear.
You went to Star Wars for the droids. Time Bandits
I've
can
actually
offer
wore a
you
hat
much,
like
much
that
more.
at a Buccaneer
It's
game.
not the special effects. Or
Yeah,
flying
right. They
or
have them at Bucks
droids,
games.
which makes Time Bandits a unique cinematic...
Cinematic! You know, pertaining to the cinema.
Cinematic experience, it's the makeup. Yes, folks, you've never seen anything like it. Men made up to look like monsters. Monsters made up to look like men. Look-alike men made up to look different. Different men made up to look alike. No expense has been
Okay, the trailer's better than the movie.
On the
Shut the fuck up, Kevin!
No expense has been spared flying in the world's greatest makeup man.
Just a minute. What about the plot?
The what?
The plot. What the film
It's
is
such a
about.
Monty Python.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it? You're sitting there telling millions of people to go and see a film you haven't even seen?
Well, I can't see every film I do now, can I?
Oh, wonderful. Terrific. Look, give me that.
What are you doing?
Taking over. You're out. O-U-T. Finished. Kaput. Finito.
What about
I
the trailer?
really
I'll do it.
haven't seen this trailer at all.
Time Bandits is an awfully good film. We have worked ever so hard on it. It's a tremendous adventure story. We like it, and we're pretty sure you will. What's wrong with it? It's direct, punchy, honest.
Honest. Honest. Modest. What's that got to do with it?
Was that
There you
really
have it.
a trailer? Holy shit.
Yeah, I looked at several of them and they were basically just like that.
And that was the best one you could find.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was so like Monty Python. Like,
Very
and I
much
hear
so.
that trailer and I was like Monty Python and the Flying Circus.
Well, it's directed by Terry Gilliam, so
Exactly. So
Monty Python. So
tell us a little bit more about
okay.
this movie, Steve.
Oh boy. Written by Michael Palin and Terry Gilliam, directed by Terry Gilliam with a running time of 1 hour and 50 minutes. A young boy accidentally joins a band of time-traveling dwarves as they jump from era to era looking for treasure to steal.
That sounds about right. What did you think
Yeah,
about this
the
movie on
thieves.
rewatch?
I love this movie. Like I watched it as a kid, which is why I have a great impression of it, and I'm not going to talk anything negative about it because it's a great movie and it's a lot of fun. And if you are an active person with a great imagination, you'll absolutely enjoy this. And if you are an absolute dullard, you will not. Mikey, what did you think about this movie?
Look, I love this movie because I am a time travel nut, and I think it would be awesome to be able to have a map and to go wherever I want to in time. So they visit so many different places with Napoleon. Ian Holm as Napoleon was absolutely brilliant. Before you even know who Ian Holm is, Fifth Element, so
Bil- Bilbo Baggins.
yeah, Bilbo Baggins, which is everybody from the Lord of the Rings fans. Um, Sean Connery, Shelley Duvall. So
Mona.
many. Yes, I wouldn't say great cast, but for that time frame, like John Cleese and Michael Palin's in the movie. It was a very, very good cast at the time, and you do have to have an imagination to kind of watch this movie, and you got to have to understand it is 1981, so a lot of reverse effects. When they fall into the water and they get sucked out of the water, and because then it's upside down, looks like they're falling, but it's just them reverse. And then head that's chasing them down the hallway when they run into the closet to try to get away.
The
The
map.
map. Yeah, so that, um, I mean, the graphics were terrible.
I see you smiling, bearded geek, because you know it's a good movie.
Look, I'm trying to give him less time to talk about it so he doesn't badmouth it as much as he's going to. But no, mid 80s, I watched the movie for the first time, HBO. Um, Enjoyed it at the time. Like I said, I was a Back to the Future fan back when I was young. After 88 when that came out, or around 88, 89 when I saw Back to the Future 2 in theaters. I really enjoyed that time travel back then. I still enjoy time travel now. I would watch the movie if it came on just to have that feeling again of being a little kid. Because that's where it brings me back to. It brings me back to my childhood when I was like 9, 10 years old. So yeah. So Bearded Geek. No, let's move on. Let's go to your. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree
Go
with
ahead, Bearded
I
Geek.
agree with every one of your points. I am a huge time travel person as well. I agree you have to have an imagination for this movie because I cannot imagine that this movie would be good. It's it's not you're stuck on nostalgia for this movie. This was my first time going in to watch this movie, and it was a pain. It was a drag.
No one's listening to you. No one's listening.
I was in my phone a lot, and now I will say it did have some really good stars in it. John Cleese, Sean Connery, as Steve said, Mona from Who's the Boss, which when I was watching it, I'm like, I know her from somewhere. I just couldn't place her. Could not place her until Steve said Mona from Who's the Boss.
Yeah, because you misplaced your common fucking sense when you sat down to watch this movie.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, guys, if you have not seen it, go watch it and you tell me who's right throughout this whole thing. But let's go ahead and get into ratings. Steve?
I just think it's a great movie because they are using a map to go steal, because they're basically thieves, or like I said, time bandits, which
Time
makes
band, yeah,
sense.
they made trees and
They're
shit, and now
thieves.
they're stealing things.
They're thieves. They're going back. Perfect place. Fucking Napoleon. Napoleon stole everything. They went and robbed Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yep.
It makes
While
sense. They
singing, while
robbed.
singing "Me and My Shadow."
Yeah. and Alexander the Great. So I mean, whatever. I think it's an
Yeah,
interesting
whatever,
movie.
Kevin. Your words mean nothing.
Hey, we cannot always agree on what's a good movie or in what's not. That's what
We
makes this show
disagree.
great.
I know we disagree. I think more when it comes to '80s movies
Wait till we
than
talk about
'90s
DMX
and two.
Bandits.
Wait till that show,
Wait
ladies
till
and
next
gentlemen.
week. Wait until next week, guys.
Wait till that show.
Uh,
But we disagree a lot when it comes to '80s, because I think '80s we were very critical of what the movie was back then. We didn't give a shit. We didn't
this
care.
is
We just
true.
watched it and we enjoyed it.
This is
And then
true. If
now we're like, man, that was a terrible movie.
And I agree. If I had seen this back in the 80s, I might have agreed
You
with
would have.
you with
You
the
would have.
nostalgia. But going into it fresh as a 39-year-old plus tax individual,
Plus tax. 39 plus tax.
yeah, it leaves something to be desired for me. Steve, how would you actually rate this movie?
This is an 8 out of 10, easy for me. I love this flick. It's solid. It's the movie that introduced me to David Warner besides Waxworks. Would you like a closer look? Um,
Another fantastic movie, by the way.
oh my goodness! I love. Yes, that movie is absolutely spectacular, just like the sequel. I so yeah, 7.5 or 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I absolutely love it. Mike and Freak.
My God. Okay, so
Oh my
this
goodness!
this was one of the first movies I did see David Warner in, because I did watch Tron a little bit later, and realized that was the same person. But I enjoyed him in Time After Time. I think that was one of the first movies I saw David Warner in, and then I can't remember if I saw him Time After Time and then went to watch Time Bandits. But it was a time movie, so it is what it is. But I would say if I had to rate this movie in the late '80s when I first saw it, it was a solid 8.5, easily an 8.5, because I enjoyed just the nostalgic part of the movie. I enjoyed the time part. I enjoyed having a map and being able to go rob different people that had a bunch of treasure. I thought that was that's kind of cool idea. Watching it again now over the last, I'd say, 10 or 15 years, I'm giving it a 7, just because computer graphics were terrible. Well, there wasn't really computer graphics, but the graphics were terrible. The camera shots, camera tricks were pretty bad. So, but it is 1981. You got to remember that. It is 81. So I'm going to go with a 7.
So, for
No one
me,
cares, Kev. No one cares. No one
for
cares.
me,
Next.
I agree
Next.
with
How about
you. I agree with you with the camera tricks were bad, the graphics were bad, acting was bad.
That's how they did. That's how they did. I don't think the acting was bad.
Accent's
I
not
think it
bad.
was
Get out of here.
I think it was the way they were, like, their characters was like over the top characters. He's supposed to be like the devil almost.
So
You know
this
what I mean?
movie
It's
did
just
not
weird.
even end with a happy ending. The boy was left an orphan at the end. He
Yeah,
is an
because that's
orphan.
what happened in the fucking 80s. Jesus.
He's left an
Yeah,
orphan at
they
the
always
end.
went out for milk and left, never came back.
Yeah, when I was
So-
7, my dad went out for milk and smokes and never came back. And look at me, I turned out fine. Right,
Well,
Dad?
he may have left for his smokes, but at least you got his leftover ashes. I'm gonna
Damn, that was cold. Oh, it is fucking cold in here.
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this with a 4. It's a 4 for
Whatever.
Oh
me.
shit.
It's a 4 for me.
Oh.
All right. For how about some interesting ish facts, Sir? Let's see. It was Sir Sean Connery's idea for Armageddon to do magic trick for Kevin.
Why?
I don't know. Sir Sean Connery suggested that he appear as one of the firefighters near the end of the movie.
Yep. That's not an interesting fact. That's just
It's a very so I'm kind of think about this too because they all play different characters throughout the movie. So it's almost like a Wizard of Oz, like this kid's dreaming, and the
Mhm.
same people that he sees in the real world is in his little fantasy world as they travel through time. It was weird. So,
And after the giant walks out from the sea, it steps on a hut, which is the home of the butler elephant creature from the Find the Fish segment of Monty Python's The
yeah.
Meaning of Life. So there you go. That is your interesting-ish facts. All right, Steve, what do we have for soundtrack?
Me and My Shadow, performed by David Rappaport, Kenny Baker, Malcolm Dixon, Mike Emmons, Jake Purvis, and Tiny Ross. Dream Away Uncredited, performed by George Harrison, Dave Macketts, Alan Jones, Mike Moran, Ray Cooper, Billy Preston, Steve Wright, and Sarah Record. Showbiz Uncredited. Dragon of Horror Uncredited, and Wine and Roses Waltz uncredited. And those are your interesting songs.
I just gave you a rim shot for it.
Didn't David Rappaport look more like a tiny Phil Collins? It's weird.
Mikey the Freak, what do we have for some related reels?
There wasn't anybody in this movie. Let's see. So, as I mentioned before, there was a lot of cameos. Of course, like we mentioned, also Terry Gilliam with the Monty Python. So, of course, you have John Cleese, Michael Palin that was in it. But I went with Sean Connery, which everybody knows Sean Connery. Hunt for Red October, The Rock, which was an excellent movie, and The Untouchables, which is one of my 3 favorite Sean Connery movies. But there's a bunch of Sean Connery flicks out there that are amazing. Even all those James Bond 007 movies, excellent.
Winners for the prom queen.
Octopussy. I just wanted to say it. Shelley Duvall. Shelley Duvall, which we just lost her last year.
Where'd she go?
I don't know. I'm sure you could find her. She's not going anywhere. She's not moving. Popeye, the Shining was probably one of my favorite movies by Shelley Duvall. And Roxanne. She's not going anywhere. Roxanne, which I think is a sleeper comedy, was very good as well. And then we talked about David Warner. I did mention Tron, Time After Time. He was also in Titanic as well.
And he was in Waxworks.
And Waxworks and Waxworks 2.
All right, there you have it. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. Go check out.
So quick.
All right, go check out the
so
sister
fast.
channel.
That's what she said.
Go check out the sister channel to Back to
Check
the
out
Retro
your
Review.
sister. Is that what you
That
said?
would be the Mod Squad Network, where we have a gamer show, horror show, movie show, a conversations, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. All right, that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, hey, if we don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
Watch the movie. Prove Bearded Geek wrong.
Yes, I want to know. Leave it down in the comments.
She's not going anywhere.
Did you like this movie?
Deuces.
See ya.
She's not moving.